Good afternoon and welcome to the Paulding County Board of Commissioners March 10th, 2015 board meeting. We'll welcome all our invited guests and elected officials. I see Mayor Debbie from Ira. I see Nick Chester with our Board of Education. Am I overlooking anyone else in the audience? Joe, where's Joe? Oh, Joe's hiding. TV, you got a big body to protect me. So, Joe, thank you for being here, man. I'll call the meeting to order, and would the marshal please bring up. Oh, and former Commissioner David Barnett. Lynn Bellini, Indian Lake Court, Hiram, Georgia, new business item number 3. What? Oh, sorry. No, I have to read out who's coming first. Okay. Marshall Ford Citizen. Okay. Our invocation today is Pastor Robbie Finley, Director of Paulding Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He will bring our invocation, and then we will have the pledge and the presentation of colors by East Paulding High School Junior ROTC. Robbie, if you'll come forward. Would you stand with me if you're able?
Before I get started, you say I'm just praying, or am I doing the pledge too?
You're praying.
Praying, okay. There's some things I won't do. I'm
Praying, preaching, whatever it is.
You're praying today.
Let's pray. Father, thank you so much for this opportunity just to be able to come before you with this group of people that will never be like this ever again. So, Father, if there's anything in our hearts that would keep you from hearing from us as we try to lift this time up to you, we just pray you'll forgive us over, remove it from us. Because, Father, we want to be pure and clean in your eyes and in your heart, in our hearts before you. Because we want to lift up this group of people that's here. I know there's different people that have different things to bring before the commission, I'm sure. And so, Father, I just pray that you'll show them favor, and I pray that you'll also show the commissioners favor as well. Everybody in here is just a human being, Father, and we all see things different ways. But, Father, if we just remember to keep you at the center of it all, then our county will be better, no matter where we end up. And so may we just seek to please you in all that we do, and help us all be something that the kids and the young people coming behind us would desire to be like one day. And we'll give you all the honor, the praise, and the glory for it all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Hold on, attention. Hold. Left face, arch. Color guard, halt. Sir, the East Paulding color guard requests permission to post the colors, sir.
Permission, right.
Post. Host. Present. Arms. Join me in saying the pledge to our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order. Arms. Post. Left, haste, hold, arch.
Let's volunteer our appreciation. Future leaders, that's absolutely fantastic. Minutes, action on the March the 3rd, 2015 work session minutes of March the 3rd, 2015 board meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Announcements. The Board of Commissioners would like to present the Boys and Girls Club Week Proclamation to Wayne Glover, Paulding County Board President. Wayne, will you, and I believe we have Nick Chester and Keely, will you all come up here, please? Have you stand right here and I'll read this, and then we'll give you the presentation and make a couple of pictures. Again, thank you all for being here. The proclamation, Boys and Girls Club, March 22nd through March 28, 2015. Whereas the young people of Paulding County, Georgia are tomorrow's leaders, and whereas many such young people need professional youth services to help them reach their full potential, and whereas Paulding County Boys and Girls Club organization provides services to more than 154 young people annually, and whereas the Boys and Girls Clubs are places where great futures start. They are at the forefront of efforts in academic success, healthy lifestyles, and good character and citizenship. And whereas Boys and Girls Club organizations in our state help ensure that our young people keep off the streets, offering them a safe and supportive place to go, and providing them with quality programs. And whereas Paulding County Boys and Girls Club will celebrate the National Boys and Girls Club Week now. Therefore be it resolved that I, David A. Austin, Chairman of the Paulding County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim March 22nd through March 28, 2015 as Boys and Girls Club Week in Paulding County, and call on citizens to join with me in recognizing and commending the Boys and Girls Club organization in our state for providing comprehensive, effective services to the young people in our community. And I will sign this, and we're going to take a picture, and then Wayne, do you want to, Kiwi or Nick want to say anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do a picture here with you first. I'm not standing behind the wide load.
No one's going to get behind
No, y'all. When you want y'all to take a picture. Thank you so much. Joe. Thank you. When y'all want to come to the lectern and speak, we welcome your comments.
Yes, I just want to say thank you so much for the proclamation. We're working hard over at the Boys and Girls Club. One couple of points I want you to know about is that last year, your Paulding County Boys and Girls Club had the highest grade point average of all the Metro Atlanta clubs. What you're doing over there. Not only that, when they show up at any competitions of the Boys and Girls Club, Paulding County walks away with honors. And so I want you to know that they're doing a lot of good hard work over there. The kids are stepping up to the table as well. We're working hard rebuilding our board. As you can see, we've just got Mr. Chester here. He's going to work with us on the board. We're also looking for about 5 or 6 more good board members to come work with us, help us to raise funds for those kids. They are working hard, and I think that the adults in the community, we should be doing the same thing so that we can make things available to them. Coming up with the Boys and Girls Club, we have a breakfast coming up as a fundraiser. It's going to be held at Longhorns. We'll let you know about that, and we'd ask that you would please attend. Love to have all of you there. We also will have a golf tournament this year, as we did last year, and to help raise funds, and please participate in that. There's something special going on in the Boys and Girls Club this year, Chairman. There's the 20th anniversary of Mr. Keith Dixon being at the club.
Wow.
And I tell you, I know I can't do the things that he does over that club, and I really admire him for what he's doing with the kids and how the kids respect him. And we're going to have a celebration around that, and Paulding County is going to be invited.
That's great. Keith, you want to say anything, or Nick, you want to say anything?
No. Thank you.
Keith?
Well, basically, I just want to say, thank you, and thank you to the community. Over the years, all the support. We could have gotten to where we are without the support of the community. It's very important that, each day that we give them the best, expose them, educate them, and elevate them to the highest standards that we can give them. And that's just, in a nutshell, what we do every day. I was thinking about when I first started, summer '96, and it was a challenge. And to this day, by the grace of God, we're still here. We're still serving over 300 students a year. Wow. We used to serve about 500, so we had to cut the numbers down. So this year, my goal is, I think, right at 326 students that we have to sign up and give services to. So, I'm just blessed to be here, and 20 years in the making is a long time, and my board and the parents and the community, all of the support and love, and that's just the simple truth. So thank you guys so much, and we look forward to continuing support, and so we can just make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. I like it. He's big in statute, but he's got a bigger heart than that. I just want to tell you that. You want to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to say, I met Kiwi, I believe it was in '06 or '07. Julie and I had been fostering, and a couple of our foster kids hung out at the Boys and Girls Club, and it was just a blessing to see what all they do. But I think the neatest thing, Kiwi, is just that after 20 years to see your heart the way it is for kids still remain the same is a testament to you. So thank you so much for everything you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you. There are no invited guests, no bid awards, no reports from committees and departments, public participation on agenda items. Lynn Malinky, 3 Indian Lake Court, Hiram, Georgia, new business item number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and all the commissioners. I'd like to speak about new business item number 3. The seems to be a lot of back and forth about the air show. I, for one, feel the air show needs to go on, and I feel that if the county chooses to support the air show, as agenda item number 3 goes on, that it should have a stipulation in that agenda item that they be reimbursed for all their expenses prior to any charities receiving any money. I paid over $10,000 in taxes to Paulding County last year, and I am unaware of who the charitable organizations are. It may be one I choose not to give to. And if we are using our tax dollars to support the air show, which on a grander scale is no different than the movie Under the Stars, then the county should be reimbursed before any charity items are given out. And next year, make it a line item in your budget so that any type of dissension can be brought out during the budget meetings and not during the air show. The air show is for our children. It will invigorate our children, but the proceeds should be reimbursed back to the county before any charities receive a dime. Thank you.
Kathy Helms, you don't have your address now?
191 Ogle Road, Rockmart, Georgia, which is in Paulding County. Good afternoon. Mr. Chairman, we have before this Board of Commissioners a discussion about a huge production, an air show, hosted by a private company using our General Aviation Airport, which we all support. First, let me say that although I've never been to an air show in Paulding County, I vividly remember them when I was a child over Lake Michigan. It was a grand event that drew thousands every year. The reason this conundrum exists is because a previous BOC thought an intergovernmental agreement between the Board of Commissioners and the Paulding County Airport Authority would be a good idea. We know this was done to prevent newly elected anti-commercial commissioners from having votes on airport operations. I applaud them for withdrawing the 139 support. It doesn't make sense to co-sponsor an authority that has made it clear that they don't want any input from the BOC. I can't think of any other event in Paulding County, and I'm on the board of directors for Paulding Festivals and have been for 15 years, in which a public or private entity has a legal document approved that clearly states they want to be separate and self-sufficient with only their approved budget for the next 10 years. I've spent a lot of time talking to Commissioners Pownell, Collette, and Crow, and never once did I hear them say that they wanted the airport or the air show to fail. In fact, the conversation has always been about building and maintaining a successful general aviation airport, and we're all anxious to see the business and industrial parks throughout the county built to provide jobs, which in turn will produce positive economic impact for our entire county. They, like most of us, are not anti-airport, but anti-commercial. We simply don't want 737s destroying our environment or the FAA controlling what happens in the airspace over our homes and neighborhoods. In fact, we probably have more in common with the commercial supporters than anyone realizes. This county is fractured, and I've seen more backstabbing and intimidation than I've ever seen in my lifetime. It saddens me to see our community today. Neighbor against neighbor, friend against friend, family members against family members. Take the commercial off the table and all this goes away. I want to mention Roger Light and his Chad's Bracket project for the kids at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. If you're not familiar with this, please take time to find out about it. Mr. Leggett's heart is much like most of those in Paulding County, and I'm proud to know he served as a post commissioner. That's the Paulding I know and love, not what we have here today. It's time to stop making commitments before things are brought before you and start working together with honesty, integrity, and transparency. We need to work with the Airport Authority to make this the best general aviation airport and hosting the best air show in the Southeast. We can't do that as long as this intergovernmental agreement exists. Please resend it as soon as possible. I don't believe that's too much to ask. Thank you.
747 Old Yorkville Road.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Mrs. Kipper. I'd like to speak on the resolution regarding the air show you plan to vote on today. As neither a supporter or an opponent of the air show, I would like to express my concerns about an issue that took a back seat at this morning's meeting due to the Commissioners' need to defend their patriotism and stance on the air show, and that is the use of taxpayer money to fund entertainment that is sponsored by a private entity and that we were told on numerous occasions would be of no expense to the Paulding taxpayers. I understand the position of this board today. I trust you will use your best judgment on how best to serve this entire county, so I will respect whatever decision y'all make. However, it rubs me the wrong way to think that the elephant in the room is being overlooked, as though it means nothing. Promises that we've been told since November 2013, when Brent Sparks publicly stated at the Airport Authority meeting the reasons to turn this show over to a nonprofit entity, have been broken. And here is a quote from Mr. Sparks. "That's why the industry standard is to move an air show into its own entity and establish it with its own set of bylaws and its own set of rules and its own corporation. That releases the taxpayers of Paulding County from liability, and they still get all the benefits of having an air show in their community," end quote. At the December 2014 AA meeting, Calvin Thompson and Blake Swafford made assurances that this show would be the sole expense of the private entity. Yet, we've allowed everyone's enthusiasm today to override those facts. The Airport Authority made their own bid when they implemented the IGA and when they washed their hands of the air show. Now suddenly, when the ramifications of their actions become an inconvenience, supporters of the air show and airport throw a tantrum until they get their way. Personally, I think the Airport Authority should pay for the needed funding Mr. Sparks needs, since this is a mess they created together. Again, I expect you to vote your conscience. However, to let the thrill and glory of this event supersede the real issue at hand is not okay with me and many Paulding residents, so I needed to address it. And then I'll leave you with this last thought. We do not expect partiality to be shown to any speaker, regardless of their position or opinions of county business and our leaders. Slander, name-calling, and rudeness are the same no matter who dishes it out. To have objected to Kirsten Liberty's speech when not one word was said to Stephanie Still is unacceptable. We expect fair treatment for all. I want you all to remember that in future meetings, because we're going to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to just make a comment. A lot of times we don't really respond to the folks that are coming up to speak, and so I just, on all three of those, the first one, I agree we probably need to put this in the budget, and the chairman does the budget, so this year, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to see us put that on a line item in the budget, and then we wouldn't be doing what we've done today, which a lot of what we've done today is trying to take care of some misinformation that was out there. And it takes time and effort to do that, and it's very frustrating, and sometimes you don't get an opportunity to fix what somebody's put out there on you. Sometimes they put it out there and it's just there forever. And so we really need to think about that. Let's put it on a line item in the budget, and I appreciate you bringing that up, and then we won't have to deal with that, because we have had to defend a stance that we really didn't make, and it started last Thursday at about 10:23 in the morning. And it consumed 5 days of my life and everybody else up here and a lot of your all's. Doesn't matter what side you're on. I think everybody thinks the air show is positive. I understand some people may have some issues with it budget-wise, and some people may have some issues with it because it's close to their home. And trust me, I get it, because when something happens near your home, it's important to you. So I don't want you to think I take that lightly. Next, Ms. Helms talked about the intergovernmental agreement, and I agree with that, Ms. Helms. The intergovernmental agreement was done last year on a 3-2 vote, and I think the airport authority's seeing some things that with the intergovernmental agreement that maybe they don't even like, but I think they got in a hurry, they did it, and it's done. And so, you know, I've heard people say rescind it, pull it back, get rid of the intergovernmental agreement. This is another thing that's gotten tangled up in it with the air show, and there's some other things that we've had to do because of the intergovernmental agreement, when before we never had to bring this to a board of commissioners. The 2012-2013 air show was done, and it was not brought to us. And then the last, on another thing Ms. Helms said, talking about rescinding the 139, you know, we did that, I believe this board did that on a 3-2 vote, January 13th of this year, to rescind, ask the FAA to withdraw our 139 and to rescind our support for the commercialization of the airport. This board did on a 3-2 vote. And so, Mr. Chairman and Ms. Skipper, I'd like for us to check into that to kind of see what the FAA's been saying. If we've got any kind of a notice from the FAA concerning that, because I think that's important. We did that, and we need to see where we're at on that. And Ms. Byram, I agree with you 100%, and I appreciate you. And you know, we're all not going to always agree. In fact, most of the time, we're not all ever going to agree 100%. But we need to work together for the best of our kids, the future of Paulding County. We need to come together, and we need to heal through this process. And I do want you to know, all of you to know, that there are a very, very, very few people that have issues with the general aviation airport. They have issues with the way it was done. But it's there, and we have it, and we need to make it successful. And I think most people, overwhelming majority, agree with that. And I do agree with you, Ms. Byron, that the commercial is the stick that's kind of stuck in us. And if we weren't dealing with the commercial aspect, I think everybody could get behind the rest of it. We could move forward to work together for the good of Paulding County. And so I appreciate all of your comments. And thank you so much for your time, because I know getting up there speaking is not always easy. So thank you.
Thank you all for coming and speaking today. We have to make decisions up here as commissioners. There was be a lot of people that wouldn't want us to do one thing, wouldn't want us to support Paulding Meadows, wouldn't want us to support Touch a Truck or Trick or Treat Village. There's just a lot of things we do. If we start saying, okay, we pull county money away from this issue, then who's to say that next time we have an event, that same thing happens and says, okay, now we don't have Paulding Meadows, and now we don't have. I believe it starts deteriorating and it starts falling apart because a few people may be a little bit unhappy. For me, it's all about growing jobs, and it always has been. You're not in the same meetings I'm in, but when I go to Washington and I meet with the EPA, and the EPA tells us that we're being punished because we're in non-attainment, that means we have to do something to turn the tide around. They say that Paulding County has great air, but we're punished for contributing to the bad air of Cobb County. And I asked EPA, I said, please explain to me why Douglas County doesn't contribute to Fulton County, because Fulton has bad air and they have I-20. They said, well, most of those cars aren't coming from Douglasville, they're traveling I-20. How do they know that? But in the old day, people said, well, you could do like my mother and daddy did, and you could drive to Lockheed and GM and Ford and all these other places, but now we're punished for taking that same trip and working at those same companies. We're punished by the EPA for non-attainment. It makes it harder to draw businesses here, so the whole thing starts falling apart when we start pulling funding away and saying we're going to be paid first, and then not support something that may bring in this many people regardless of what it is. I mean, I think probably one of our largest events is the Dallas Parade. And we have marshals, we have deputies, and we have fire department. We have people there. And those people get paid for their time or for their overtime. So, when we start throwing rocks at one event or two events or whatever else, you can't pick what you're going to support, what you're not going to support. Just for my 2 cents on this. Now we'll go to consent agenda. Action on one consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Old business, no business. New business, number 1, action to approve allotment request number 2 for the East Hiram Parkway project in the amount of $312,795. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to, go ahead. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion.
Thank you, Scott.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Number 2, action to approve May 1st, 2015 employee benefits plan renewal as presented with no changes to employee payroll contributions. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Number 3, action to adopt resolution 1510 supporting the 2015 Salute to America Air Show. Before we take a vote, Skip, will you read your language?
I will. I will tell everyone it's not a masterpiece. It's written very quickly. Y'all all have a copy of it, I think. correct, okay. Whereas the Salute America Air Show is a not-for-profit a Georgia corporation organized for the purpose of organizing and hosting the air shows located in Paulding County, Georgia. And whereas the Salute America Air Show has an air show scheduled for this year for May 9th and 10th at the Paulding Northwest Airport, located in Paulding County, Georgia, hereinafter the air show. And whereas the air show has acquired its own air show insurance coverage for the hosting of this event and can provide a copy of same to Paulding County. And whereas the air show is a unique opportunity for the citizens of Paulding County because it provides an educational benefit to students in the school system through its writing contest, as well as helps promote tourism in the county and economic development through its attendance. And whereas this year's air show in May is expected to have between 15,000 to 30,000 people in attendance, which will assist in the promotion of this county as a tourism destination and is expected to generate economic development opportunities for the citizens of the county in excess of $1 million. And whereas the air show specifically supports and honors the veterans of the United States Armed Forces and acknowledges their services to this country. And whereas the air show has stated in its mission that any profits from the air show will go to charities in Paulding County should such proceeds be available. And whereas the Paulding County Board of Commissioners sets forth that it is in the best interest of Paulding County to support the Salute America Air Show with the following county services and funding. Now therefore be it resolved by the Paulding County Board of Commissioners as follows. 1. The Paulding County Board of Commissioners hereby supports the Salute America Air Show located at the Paulding Northwest Atlanta Airport on May 9th and 10th, 2015. In doing so, it is understood that the leadership of Paulding County supports the purpose of the air show and recognizes its unique benefits to the county in tourism, economic development, and education. The Paulding County Board of Commissioners hereby further supports the stated purpose of the air show to honor veterans of the United States Armed Forces and their service to this country. 2. The Paulding County Board of Commissioners authorizes the Finance Department to amend the current budget to allow the expenditures for the Salute America Air Show up to $55,000, which amount shall include sums for the Paulding County Sheriff's Office participation, as well as the sums associated with participation of the various other Paulding County departments, including but not limited to Department of Transportation, Parks and Recreation, Fire Department, the staff of the Senior Center, the Marshal's Office, Animal Control, and Information Technology. The participation of the county department staff will be coordinated with the Salute America Air Show staff and is expected to take place from May 7th through the 10th, 2015. 3. The Salute America Air Show will need to place on file a copy of its insurance for the event with the Paulding County Finance Department. So resolved this 10th day of March 2015.
Do we move forward as protocol to here or name yes, no, how to know?
You need a motion on it, if we're going to do it.
Okay.
I don't know what the motion is. There's not a motion on it yet.
We have action to adopt resolution 15-10 supporting the 2015 Salute to America Air Show. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion second. Discussion.
I've got just a little bit of a discussion. Naturally, I just made a motion to approve. Would like to just say a couple things, and this is not at all intended to be negative. This could, all this could have been done with what the chairman has to do, as far as him authorizing things, less than 50,000. Okay, and we got a report that it was 51,000 last year, so I'm okay with the 55. But again, I just 2 years in a row, 12 and 13, we never did have to do this, and I just, again, wish this hadn't come to this, so let's please put this in the budget. And only other thing I would like to say is I want us to be sensitive to our employees for that weekend, because it's Mother's Day weekend, and some people, you know, they're good with doing whatever they need to do, and other people have different responsibilities with mom, so I want us to be sensitive to that. And, you know, in fact, employees say they support the air show, they may not want to be there all weekend, but so let's be sensitive to that and what we do. And I think that's all I've got to say.
And I agree, and it was within $50,000. But again, this had everything to do with this gentleman being able to sell sponsorships and feeling like this board stood behind you. That's all this was about. And when you asked me about it, I said, I'd like for you to meet with them individually and listen. And then it kind of exploded from there. But again, I thank you for the time that you and your wife give up for this air show. We can't thank you enough, because it's hours and hours and months of preparation. Vernon, you want to say?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just want to agree with the concept about Mother's Day. It is Mother's Day. That was one of my big concerns. And let's make sure that it was announced in the staff meeting on Monday a week ago that we only take people that volunteer, and only be forced to do it. Let's make sure, we do that. I've already got plans for Mother's Day. I'm trying to make it on Saturday, but I do have plans for Mother's Day. Out of town, so thank you.
Other than that, Mr. Sparks, do a good job, and I'd like to see some charities supported at the end of this. Hopefully that'll work out, and that'll be a blessing for some of the charities we have in our county. And move forward and make it happen, do good.
There's a motion and a second. Do you want to say anything, Ms. Carter?
Well, I would like to say something that I meant to ask Mrs. Sparks this morning. A prerequisite to having the Blue Angels is a jet air team performing. Guess what? That's going to happen May 9th and 10th. So stand by, community.
Thank you. We've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? That carries 5-0. That's the conclusion of a regular business session. There's no executive session, no public participation. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye.